Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Crypto Space. In today's video, we are going to cover ICP, its recent price action, and of course a couple of interesting tweets as well as charts for altcoins too. So I'm pretty sure that you don't want to miss it out. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and a quick disclaimer that this video isn't a financial advice. But alright, let's have a look at ICP now. ICP is currently trading at $15.22 and is currently experiencing a little pump of 4.9% on the 24-hourly time frame. So market cap is currently sitting at 6.9, well, almost 7 billion USD, and 24-hour trading volume is currently sitting at 310 million USD. So as we can see over here on that chart over here on CoinGecko, ICP's price action is looking bullish, at least on the daily, but we are going to get into the chart quickly. And now let's have a look at the first piece of information. So ICP has reached a major milestone with over 100k threshold ECDSA signatures. So that adoption is coming, and obviously that is a very good piece of news to see on ICP. On the top of that, as we can see over here, these are a couple of photos of celebrating Women's Day over here at ICP's hub. So we can obviously see how many ladies are working on the project, but why I'm showing you that, right? So we can basically see how many people are constantly meeting up in terms of ICP. And on the top of that, we also have so much of collaborations with universities. That's another photo with university in Indonesia, which is becoming a hub for Web3, which is very, very good. And now, something I believe the most important for today's news, at least, if we are going to look over here. Built on the internet computer, Nuance offer unprecedented scalability, able to accommodate a growing community of writers and readers. So I'm not sure if you are guys remembering, but I was showing you that comparison of how things that are built or are going to be built on ICP are going to replace current social media, right? So we saw alternative to YouTube, alternative to Gmail, etc., right? So that is a first step of that adoption, that social blogging media that's built on ICP. So that's very good. We are seeing and experiencing that adoption, but obviously that is coming slowly, and I do know that we all want things to be much faster if it comes to ICP, but I do believe that our patience is going to pay off. And now let's have a look at DeFi on ICP. So as we can see over here, DeFi is currently sitting at 38.2 million USD. And if we are going to look at market cap growth in general, ever since last year, for example, if we are going to look at month of October last year, that is basically what, around 6 months, 5-6 months, then we clearly see that growth in terms of market cap. So pretty much from nothing, from 1.4 billion USD, ICP has grown to 7 billion USD, well, peaked. So let's have a look now at some ICP in terms of ICP being staked. As we can see over here, ICP is currently sitting at 47.8%, so only 0.1% has changed in terms of ICP being staked. And now one thing to note is that there's going to be unlock of 3.2 ICPs into the supply. So that's going to be scheduled in March 11 in 2 days, well, where I'm located. And for some people, it's only 1 day. And now let's have a look at some graphs over here. So I do believe that balance on exchanges is going to go higher of around that 3 million USD. And now the question is this going to impact the price negatively? Well, it all depends. It all depends how much people are purchasing ICP and of course staking their ICP as well, because we see that that number doesn't really change necessarily. We see over here that it's basically hovering between 47.7 up to 47.9. So I do think that it possibly could impact the price negatively. However, we also have to remember that a lot of money is flowing towards altcoins, and only because ICP haven't pumped yet doesn't necessarily mean that it's not going to pump. So let's have a look on the daily chart and let's see what's going on. So as I was anticipating, we are going to fell off that triangle over here, and we are going to basically see a reversal over here. So in my opinion, what is basically happening is that market makers are flashing these leverages over here and liquidating these trades, and now ICP looks definitely much healthier and stronger for a push towards the upside. So nothing bad really is happening. So as we can see over here, if I'm going to move that model, let's say that trend line over here, and extend this, we still do have an ascending action over here, right? We are printing, well, ICP is printing higher highs over here, and we broke above that triangle model as well as that resistance that leads us back to the previous all-time high, to the previous bull cycle. So we saw ICP at almost $17, right? And we are going to see perhaps a pushback before we are going to see a bigger price. So now let's see how things are rolling in terms of RSI to potentially predict the price. So if I'm going to draw the comparison in terms of the percentage over here on ICP, that's going to be 34, well, let's call it 35%, right? So that's going to be our first way how to measure that. So 35, 36%, there you go. So that's going to be around $20. However, if I'm going to measure it that way, let's say give it or take, that is going to put ICP's price above that major resistance level over here at $24. So I still do believe that ICP is going to see a pump. However, that is very difficult to predict when exactly. So I do believe that these are last chances to accumulate some ICP before bigger price levels. And I know that ICP doesn't really get a lot of hype at the moment because it doesn't pump, but probably once it's going to pump, people are going to FOMO into it, and that's going to be too late because other people might dump on them. Obviously, maybe not necessarily during that pump, but when ICP is going to reach prices of $100 or $150, that could be, you know, a bad time to get into ICP. But heck, who am I to judge, right? All right, let's have a look at ICP in terms of monthly gain. So as we can see over here, ICP printed 10% of gains in last month of February. And if we are going to look at current month, we are almost at 21%. So I still do believe this is good. And obviously it's not as great as Pepecoin or Dogecoin or whatever, but it is what it is. Let's have a look at some altcoins. Well, sorry, first of all, let's have a look at the BTC. So as we can see over here, BTC is entering that second phase of the bull cycle, and BTC reached these previous all-time highs that led to the previous bull cycle. And if we are going to compare it with altcoins, we still haven't reached that top over here, and we haven't experienced that second breakout over here. So we still haven't reached that major resistance of all-time highs for alts, and that's the reason why ICP is lagging behind. Well, one of the reasons, I do believe. And if we are going to look at this over here from the standpoint of where we are at for alts, we still have a lot of way to go, because according to the Scalping Pro, shout out to the Scalping Pro by the way, we can clearly see that this target could be around 2.5, perhaps up to 3 trillion USD. So we still are quite early, I would say probably 30% in. So we have a lot of way to go. And if we are going to look at that close-up chart, as we can see over here, altcoin market cap is currently sitting at around 700 billion USD. And again, we still haven't reached that major resistance level over here, aka all-time highs. And if we are going to look from the perspective of Wall Street cheat sheet, according to the Scalping Pro, shout out again, we left that hope phase and we are entering optimism, belief, and then later we are going to see thrill and euphoria. And obviously ICP at those levels is going to look totally different, I believe. And if we are going to look from the perspective of Bitcoin rainbow chart, we can clearly see that we are still in a yellow zone, which stands for hodl. So we are still before halving for BTC, and altcoins technically should see that major pump right after BTC's huge price action towards the upside. All right then guys, I hope that you have enjoyed that quick ICP update, and I wish you having a great day or evening wherever you are in the world. Peace and love, crypto.